Mr. Iswaran, hi, good morning. Yeah, Mr. Iswaran, just to give you a quick heads up, your panel discussion will be starting at 10:30. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To join in the we Sinex Group would like to welcome all of you to India Banking Summit 2021. We would like to take this opportunity and platform to thank all of our honorable speakers, our delegates, and our sponsors for supporting and believing in the India Banking Summit 2021. Before we begin, I wish and I hope all of you and your near and dear ones and your family members are staying safe and taking all the precautions of safety amid this pandemic. We wish all of you a very healthy life ahead, and please follow all the social distancing norms and do wear a mask and do take your vaccines. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the India Banking Summit 2021, I would especially like to thank all of our partners and sponsors for supporting us. In the order of the sequence, our presenting partner Novopay Banking, our banking AI partner Code.ai, category partner IBM, fintech partner Jokata, AI and robotic process automation partner Automation Anywhere, omni-channel communication partner Carix, digital transformation partner Altair, risk management partner Rubik's Data Sciences Private Limited, digital payments partner Cashfree, intelligent automation partner Botminds.ai, and corporate partners Trejara, ACL Mobile Limited, and Quality Kiosk. This summit, ladies and gentlemen, brings in all the industry experts from the leading banks across India under one platform, and to discuss on the best practices and innovation in the Indian banking industry. About Sinex. Sinex Group is one of the world's leading platform of opportunity for our delegates, speakers, vendors, exhibitors, sponsors, and consultants to interact, meet, network, and learn cutting-edge solutions, meet high-profile decision makers under one platform. Now, I would like to start the proceedings of the day one of the India Banking Summit by introducing Mr. Srikanth Nadhamuni, Chairman and co-founder of Novopay Banking. Srikanth, apart from being the Chairman and co-founder of Novopay Banking, he's also the founder CTO of Aadhaar, HDFC Bank board member and Chairman of Khosla Labs. So, Mr. Srikanth would be delivering the opening keynote address. Srikanth, a warm welcome to you at the India Banking Summit 2021. With such a vast expertise, the profile of giving the opening address aptly suits you. So, our pleasure in having you here. Looking forward to a wonderful opening keynote address from you, Srikanth.
Thank you. Thank you, Samya. Wonderful to be here. Let me just share my screen to show the deck that I've prepared for this keynote. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful to be here this morning. I hope you're all doing safe. You're safe and your families are doing well. I will quickly share my thoughts on the banking environment today. And, to start off with, we all know this, but I was putting some data together, actually courtesy of HDFC Bank. The CFO, Srini, in fact, helped me put some of these slides together. India is the fastest growing economy, attractive for investment. And I'm not saying this out of patriotism, but out of data. If you look at the growth in GDP over the last 2 decades, India has more than doubled its GDP. So it's certainly catching up on the large powers, economic powers, United States, China, Japan, and Germany. India is number 5 right now at $2.8 trillion in GDP terms, and fast growing, as you can see. And of course, it is poised to emerge as the fastest growing global economy, as you can see from the data out there. Right? So that is point number one, that India is growing extremely fast, and there is no doubt about it. Of course, yes, COVID has put a bit of a spanner in the works, but so it has through all the other economies. But we certainly are going to rebound back, is my feeling. Secondly, let's look at credit penetration, and this is of great interest to all you bankers. The credit penetration in India, on the other hand, is quite low. It's lagging behind Asian countries and, of course, the US. So if you look at the total credit to household as a percentage of GDP, India is quite low vis-a-vis all the other major economies. Behind US, China, Korea, Thailand, UK, Malaysia, Singapore, and EU. So what does that mean? We are fastest growing economy, but with a low credit penetration, which means it gives us a lot of room for growth on the asset portfolios. The total credit to household as a percentage of GDP is quite low. You can see that at 37.3% of GDP. And you can see the private consumption as percentage of GDP is moderate compared to other economies. So what do these charts tell us? What it tells us is that India has a lot of room to grow, and you banks can benefit from this huge growth we are going to see in on the credit side. The third thing I wanted to bring up was the credit growth outlook. All this is fine. This is, large trends over many decades and so on, and ratios. But can we predict what the credit's going to be like based on some good data that we have seen over the last, 10 to 20 years? Well, more like last 10 years. So what you're seeing is credit to GDP multiplier. There's a typo there. It's not GPD, it is GDP. Credit to GDP multiplier. If you look at it over the last 10 years, the average, if you take out the outlier in 2017 where it jumped to 2.2, the average is 1.0. What does this mean? It means that as the GDP grows, the credit will grow along with it 1:1, right? And even though of course, when I'm here, I'm talking about the nominal GDP growth, not the real GDP growth. Okay, the credit lines seem to correlate with nominal. Inflation is not affecting credit growth as much. So that's what we're looking at. So the net, India is a fast growing economy. India is low penetrated on credit growth. Thirdly, credit growth correlates directly with GDP, and it looks like our nominal GDP is bound to grow as the economists are predicting. So that is the big picture I wanted to present to you first. And then moving on, there are a couple of thoughts with respect to what are the future trends that we're looking at. Okay. And at Novopay, we are trying to build the products that will actually power these trends, right? Of course, COVID wave 2 thankfully is receding. Nobody knows why it took off. Maybe we all, lowered our guard, whatever it is. But hopefully with the economic activity that is slowly going to restart, the economy is going to rebound. And it looks like the signs are good. At least we are coming down very quickly. In fact, I'm very closely involved. I've just launched a program called 10-bed ICU, where we're creating 10-bed ICUs in rural India. We have launched it in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and now in Karnataka and Maharashtra and other states. So basically, we are looking forward to managing, of course, wave 2 coming down and hopefully keeping wave 3 away. And if the large-scale vaccinations are any sign, like we've seen in the US, perhaps we can avoid the kind of some of the really bad consequences we saw of the wave 2. And like I said, GDP growth will drive assets 1:1, as I would show you with the past trend. And some of the key things that we are looking at is, for instance, UPI payments. I know bankers have a sort of mixed view of UPI. You have to support a lot of UPI transactions. Regulator is keen that we all support digital transformation from a payments perspective. We don't make much money on UPI. The margins are very, very thin. But I'm on the board of the HDFC Bank. I sit on the IT strategy committee and other committees, credit committees, and so on. My own thought is we need to take the customer engagement that UPI drives and convert it to useful, profitable products on the asset side and the liability side. Okay. And if you see the speed at which UPI has grown, it is certainly a harbinger of the transformation that the country is going through from a digital perspective. I was the founder CTO of the Aadhaar project, and we saw after we launched Aadhaar and created this authentication and KYC framework, so many transactions took off. India could start doing nationally a whole bunch of digital transactions that were earlier not possible on identity, on payments, on NREGA, on PDS, on schemes, and so on. So similarly, I see this UPI taking off as a sign of a digitally transforming nation. What does that mean to you? You need to engage with that and convert it into profitable products on asset, liability, and other products. The next thing that the team, Nandan Nilekani and iSpirit and so on, have been working on is UCAN, flow-based lending. It is going to be, I feel, very similar to UPI. It is going to change the way we do credit, especially small credit, SME credit, personal loans, unsecured, and so on, based on digital data. And they've come up with the account aggregator framework to access data from people across the institutions, across all banks. And I think all the major banks have already signed up to the UCAN framework. So that is another area that your banks need to start aligning with, start planning for. And lastly, you need to embrace digital transformation. Gone are the days where you can say, I'm good at banking. We used to use book and paper. Now I'm going to use computers. That paradigm is too simplistic. You need to become technology organizations as well. And from that point of view, I just share my 2 cents. At Novopay, we've been building this next generation digital banking platform. And some of the key aspects, if you want to go after the new markets or take advantage of UPI, use UCAN for digital lending and so on, you need to ensure that your platform is API driven. So it is not just your apps that get used for delivering your products. It could be other people's apps and APIs that drive your products. Hub and spoke model, where you have a centralized hub which is incredibly powerful on the cloud, whereas your spokes can be anything from laptops to mobile phones to tablets to watches to maybe even glasses, as I'm hearing Apple come out with. Of course, cloud enabled, it's shown that there's a lot of advantages of running on the cloud as opposed to managing your own infrastructure. AI and ML have shown lots of now, frankly, after all the hype and so on, we are seeing products on credit rating, on customer segmentation, on fraud monitoring, and so on. And of course, a layered and modular architecture. Monoliths don't work. Aadhaar we built as a beautifully layered architecture because of which it scales and does such a massive job. And a lot of those underpinnings of those technology are actually embedded in what we've built here at Novopay. And lastly, of course, microservices driven, containerized, and so on. But I will talk about this in an upcoming session. But I just wanted to close by saying, I think there is great opportunity. COVID has been a dampener, but I think we are coming back as a nation thanks to the slowdown of wave 2 and the growth of the vaccination programs. You all need to start looking at forward-looking at UPI, at UCAN, at the digital transformations that we can bring to in this industry and take advantage of the future growth. Thank you very much. Over to you, Samya.
Srikanth, thank you so much for that wonderful keynote session. I think very interesting and very intuitive as well. And what a beautiful start to this particular day with a very interesting session from Srikanth on behalf of Novopay, our presenting partner, and opening the dais and the day for this. Srikanth, a couple of questions which came up from the audience earlier today, and I'm very glad to see that the audience is so much interactive right from the beginning of the morning itself. So we got one question, which I'll take it in the interest of the time. A very generic one coming from Mr. Ashish Chauhan from Axis Bank. Ashish is asking that Novopay, is Novopay offering anything in neo-banking? I think very generic type of question. Srikanth, if you would...
very important question. a good question, Ashish. We absolutely have built a neo banking stack. See, increasingly, people are going to go more digital, more mobile. Mobile penetrations are, mobile participation in these platforms is much higher, 70-80% compared to laptops and other forms. So this idea of creating a neobank with a 5-minute onboarding with a video ID KYC or a Aadhaar kind of KYC, getting on board, allowing every customer to be able to give an account, and based on the deposits, give them the right kind of products and deliver banking on a digital platform with very little manual effort is absolutely important. We have seen examples in Europe and US. We have seen N26. We have seen Simple Move. In India, we have seen several banks, DBS try something, and Kotak and others coming up with some products along these lines. But I think there is still a huge opportunity to create a neobank, to create a digital bank where you can have 1 billion customers. The platform that we've built can manage 1 billion customers. And we can not just onboard them, deliver products completely on a digital footprint, and ensure that you grade the products based on the customer's need. You don't need to say, oh, if you don't have 1 lakh of rupees, I cannot provide digital banking for you. You can say, even if you have 1,000 rupees in your pocket, I can deliver banking for you, right from that low-end customer. Okay, financially not included, all the way up to HNIs. I think digital banking is the way of the future. We've built a neobanking product where, I'm sure Gautam and others can discuss that with you.
Absolutely, and thank you once again, Srikanth, for answering that question. And ladies and gentlemen, just to tell you that Srikanth also has a very unique presentation tomorrow. So we look forward to having Srikanth again there. And Novopay is our presenting partner. So I request all the attendees to know more about Novopay's offering. Please do visit the booth of Novopay, where you can learn more about their products, their offerings, interact with their team, and get to know more how Novopay can help solve your challenges and opportunities in the banking domain. Thank you so much once again, Srikanth. Wonderful having you here. Looking forward to again hearing from you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Soumya, and I look forward to meeting all the delegates in your digital world, the Maya that you have created. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Srikanth. Thank you.
Yeah.